Friends, I have another new knife to share with you today. One I purchased from the cutlery shop with my own money. This one is going to be going into my personal collection, but that's alright. We can still share it with you and do a review of the knife. And let's go ahead and get this out of the box. Now, the cutlery shop, they always give us a little gift package here. Let me show you what we get. Get these popcorn out of here. Alright, so we usually get a little bag like this with it. And let's just open it up and I'll show you everything they give you. It's pretty cool. You know, it doesn't cost them much, but it means a lot to me. It shows that they value me as a customer. So here's a sticker, Stay Sharp sticker. That's pretty cool. And here's a little keychain. It's like a motorcycle keychain. And yes, I am into motorcycles. Get some popsicles and a pin, and I damn sure can use that pin. And this is just their card in case I want to reorder if I got a problem. Thank you, Cutlery Shop. Alright, before we get started, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it with your friends who might like some of our knife content. And also, let's get an update on the knife giveaways before we do this unboxing. So we already gave away the Browning Steam Bank last Sunday, but tomorrow, Sunday, 5/5, we're going to give an Opinel number 8 carbon. So make sure you're entered for that. I'll do the drawing around noon, and then the next Sunday is at Rangebuster 2.0. Here's the Opinel we're giving away tomorrow. Simple knife. John Shiflett showed us this one. We did a review, and we also have this Rangebuster 2.0 from Boker. Now, both these knives were purchased with proceeds from my knife oil sales at oneangrykid.com. Alright, I sell knife oil, and all the money, all the proceeds go to buy giveaway knives. So, both those knives are giveaway knives, but not this one. This one was purchased with my own money, and this one's going in my collection, and it is a Protech. And this is the first Protech I've had on the channel. So I'm just enjoying this along with you. Look at this beautiful box. That's what we want to see right there. Made in the USA. I try to do as many made in the USA knives as possible. Here's some of the details on this beautiful box. And that's another trademark of my channels. I try to give you all the up close and personal views for people who are on the fence maybe about buying a knife or a product, and I try to give them as much information as I can and get up and close and get very good photographs and video of it. Alright, so it comes in this little bag here. Let's see if we can get this thing out of here. A little stubborn. Alright, inside that it's in a plastic bag. We don't need to keep that. We get rid of that. Alright. Pretty cool, pretty cool. This one has the dragon scales in OD green. It has the DLT coated blade and hardware. And it's very light. It's a little smaller than I expected. And there is the only marking on the whole knife, and it's on the spine of the blade, which I already knew about that. But I thought it would have one on the flipper too, but there is no marking on the flipper, just on the spine of the blade. And here is the deep carry clip it comes with. It looks like a very nice deep carry clip. A little bit on the small side too, but I like the tension. Just about the right amount of tension on that, so it should be pretty easy. And it's got the recessed screws in there as well. Alright. Wow. Okay, that was nice. So you gotta use the flipper to open it, and it's also a button lock. Alright, this is not an automatic knife. It's not assisted. It has no springs in there. It is just a manual flipper with a button lock, and this has a reverse Tanto blade. But see how it's got a little bit of a sweep to that blade? It's definitely not straight like a Warncliffe. Alright, it's got a little bit of a curve. And it's kind of a full flat, but it does have a flat spot there, so I don't know, it's kind of in between a saber and a full flat. But this action is pretty nice. Now, that button, you know, it is recessed in there. Well, it's not really recessed, it's just flush. And it just, the difficulty you seeing me have here is just me finding the button. Okay, maybe if they made it protrude a little bit more, but then it would catch your pocket. I think it's just getting used to the knife. Once I get used to it, it'll be just fine. Alright. Man, that thing is balanced just perfectly. And it's not a heavy knife. It's not like a ZT where you just have that metal slinging out there. It's not heavy like that. It is perfectly balanced. You can see the center on the blade. That looks good. It feels really good in the hand. It feels like quality. Alright, you can see the contouring there on everything. Here's some up close. Look at the scales. Now that's contoured. It's grippy going one direction and kind of smooth going the other way. You know? And it's got a little landing pad for the pocket clip right there. Very small. Just perfect. You can't even see it. Hidden well. Looks like they got a couple Spyderco clues in here, huh? Like I said, all the hardware is blackened out with that DLT coating. Pretty nice. Alright, so you can grab it there. Alright, or you can get up there. I'd be a little leery. You're really getting up on top of that blade. Just got to get used to the knife before you start using that part. It's not really a choil. Alright, let's see how sharp this thing is. Got a piece of paper here. Alright, this is the scary part. You spend a lot of money on a knife. Some of them don't cut. But this one does. That is very smooth. What do you think about that, huh? Yeah. Very polished edge. Not toothy at all. Okay. It's different too. Hard to describe. It's very smooth. Look at that. Yeah, that's nice, huh? Alright, let's see how this thing punctures. Not bad. That is one pointy tip. Let's see if we can get a video of that tip there. Let's get this here. Check it out. That sucker is sharp. I guess that's why they make this style blade. This is the first reverse Tanto. Alright, talking about the blade, it's 3 3/16. Pretty much right on the money. 3 3/16 long. And the cutting edge is almost just the same length as the blade itself. Overall, we got 8.5 inches, and we got a handle that is about 4 1/16, 4 1/8, 3.08 ounces. Wow, that is very respectable. Check this out. Spyderco pair of 2 is going to come in 3.52. That's almost a ½ ounce lighter than the Para 2. The Para 2 is a respectable weight 2. If I can pronounce it right, huh? And the blade, look at that, cutting edge is about identical. Look at that. Here's the Buck Spitfire. It's about the same size cutting edge, a little bit shorter because the Spitfire has that forward choil. And here is the Star Flare by Civivi. We did a review of this knife last week, and it came out very well. So we're going to end up doing a field test and put these two knives head to head later on. Here's the Benchmade tagged out. It's got about a 3/8 inch longer blade. It weighs about an ounce less. Now here's my One Angry Kid knife oil, and regardless of what the knife is made out of, I always put a good coating of this when I get a new knife. It just helps lubricate everything and keeps stuff from sticking to your blade. It's non-toxic. You don't have to worry about cutting up your bananas or apples or oranges. Everything in this oil is food grade, and that's one of the reasons I make it. It's a non-toxic, premium knife lubricant and protectant, and it does a great job. It makes it look pretty too. Now that I got it all slicked up, let's talk about what I think about this knife. Alright, so this knife is a little over $300, so it was quite a bit of investment. My general rule of thumb was not to spend much over $200, but nowadays that's very hard to do. $300 knife was the $200 knife a couple years ago. Just look at the Spyderco Para 2. It's entry level knife is about $200 now. But this is a very high quality knife from an American manufacturer. The fit and finish and balance is extremely well done. So I think it's in the price wise, it's in the ballpark. Fidget factor, you know, the Para 2 was the king of fidget with its compression lock for a very long time, but I do think this button lock is the newest thing, and it's just as good. Width wise, it's just right there with the Para 2. It's about the same, but you got a little less footprint in the pocket with that handle. You know, the knife to handle ratio on this Protech Malibu is much better than the Para 2. Para 2 was always a little weak in that. It had a big handle compared to the blade, especially where you lose that cutting length because of that front choil. And yeah, you know, button lock, that's nice. That's nice. That's a very sturdy design. I think it'll hold up just as good too. Alright, so what else? Well, deployment, you know, with the flipper is great. I don't think it's as good with the button on this one. Maybe it needs to be broken a little bit. But let me tell you, that Civivi over here, that button, it just blade slings out. I don't know if it's a different pivot point or what, but it also has that recessed area around the button that makes it very easy to find that button and push it. The Protech doesn't have that. You know, I don't think if I carried this knife on a regular basis it would be a problem. I think I'd get used to it very quickly. And let me tell you, that flipper on this knife is perfecto. The shape of it is awesome. Let me move this stuff out of the way and get a couple other flippers out here. Alright, here is one here. I think this is the 0562. I got another one here. Hold on. Yeah, the 0454. Alright, so this one, this is the Mac Daddy flipper right here. This is the ZT 0452 carbon fiber 4-inch S35 steel slinging out there every time you push that button like a light switch. I mean, it's got those ball bearings in there, and that thing is slick. But this one's also a ZT. It's a Hinder design, okay? And it's got a lot heavier blade. So the problem with that, you hit that flipper, if you don't get enough momentum going, that blade might not kick on out there and lock into place like it should, especially if you have the blade pointed upward. This one here, you really need to have the blade pointing towards the ground and let gravity give you a hand, because sometimes you just don't get it out there all the way if you don't get your deployment just perfect. And the reason I think that is look at the pivot point and look where the flipper, see how this one here is perfectly even? This one's lower than the pivot point. You see that? Look at this one here. This one works very well. It's actually higher. Look at the pivot point. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Alright, the center of the pivot point right there compared to the flipper, and right there compared to the flipper. See, now this one here is above the pivot point. It's higher up. This one here is lower. Alright, this one's easier. The other one's harder. This one is right in the middle. Look at that. I think they just got it perfect. See that? See how it's higher? And it's a little lower than that one. I mean, this thing is magical with that flipper. It's just like pushing a switch. Alright, so I just wanted to show you those. Alright, well, this video is getting pretty long-winded. I'm going to make a second video where we go out in the field and put this knife against another knife and see how it compares in the cutout. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you enter those knife giveaways. Alright? And once again, thanks for viewing.